What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Two Wheeled Rider YouTube channel. My name is Mario Orsini. I'm actually out here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I had to come out for work, but I'm here for a little bit of play too. I'm joined by Johnny Hopper of the Johnny Hopper YouTube channel. I've been following you for probably since close to the beginning of the year. He puts out a lot of great stuff, especially if you're into motocross and off-road racing and those sorts of things, which I know some of you guys that follow my channel are, and some of you like to ride your, touring bikes like I do, but it's all good. Anyway, Johnny, some of the guys may subscribe to you on my channel, some of them may not. Give them a little bit of background, a little bit of history on your life in motorcycles, those sorts of things to kind of bring them up to speed.
Well, I've been a pro since 2013, and I guess maybe I wouldn't consider myself a pro anymore because I retired. And I've been riding motorcycles since I was 3, honestly, before I got a bicycle. And my father was a pro in the 80s, and he basically almost forced me into riding motorcycles because this is what we were going to do every weekend. And obviously at like 16, I wanted it to become my job. So my dad and I started traveling to all the supercrosses and motocrosses. And so I've got, my YouTube channel is basically sort of a privateer's view on racing. Like, what does it take to be the underdog, and what are the kind of things that they go through as far as to get to the next level. So a lot of my stuff is a little bit jaded just because I didn't make it as to the level that I wanted to, as far as retirement with my mansion and blah, 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 blah. But I met a lot of cool people, and that's pretty much a little bit of background on me.
So speaking of your YouTube channel, I don't remember exactly what your start date was, but I know over the last, we'll say 6-7 months, it's blown up pretty good. Like, you've gone from, I don't know, maybe a few thousand subscribers or less, and now you're up over 10,000. And you kind of gave us a little bit of an idea of why you started it, but what was like the turning point where you're like, you know what, I'm going to start posting videos?
Well, I got in a really bad accident in 2017 where I had a motorcycle malfunction, and I was at a arena cross race, and I ended up going into the wall and almost losing my leg and some other bigger things. And I got away from motorcycles. I hated motorcycles. I wanted nothing to do with motorcycles. I hated everybody that rode a motorcycle, and it's just, I was in a bad spot because my father passed away, and he was my mechanic. He took me to all the nationals and all the races, and I didn't think I could do it without him. And then I kind of proved I couldn't do it without him, because the next pro race I did was pretty much the race where I ended up staying 3 months in the hospital. And I started YouTube on a financial channel because I've got all my financial certifications, and I didn't want to even touch the topic of motorcycles. But then I had a lot of built up aggression and resentment when it came to motorcycles, and I keep hearing certain things behind my ear in the local community about stuff that I just thought was wrong. And now that I'm not a pro, and I'm not trying to be buddies with everybody to get sponsorship and obtain a better opportunity for me to race, I could be real with people. And so I wanted to tell people not necessarily the truth, but my truth. And so I started just putting out content, and it actually made me feel a lot better.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been following along with this channel. I mean, in addition to giving you like he said, his truth, which may be different than others, but he's giving you a raw perspective. You've also done like race recaps on supercross and motocross, which you're hearing it from someone that actually knows how to ride, not your typical fan.
It's
that's
questionable.
Not somebody that's just watching it on TV. And you've done riding tip videos and those sorts of things. So there's a lot of great stuff on there for anyone that's interested in either their motocross fans or their weekend warrior riders. So no, I've had a lot of fun with it, and I like.
Well, thank you, Mario.
I like reading through some of the comments, which we'll get to in a minute. So, now that you've got past that 10,000 mark on, subscriber-wise, the channel's continuing to grow. The big question is, okay, so you're a motorcyclist, but now do you consider yourself a YouTuber?
Unfortunately, I guess I would consider myself a YouTuber, because when I walk in a grocery store or something and I've got a camera, I'm always worried about what people are the comments behind my back are going. And all the little kids say you're a YouTuber, so you must be a YouTuber.
Yeah, that's true. The adults still question it. Little kids know what's up. So speaking of YouTube, what's kind of been the best part of it? I think you might have touched on it already, but since you've been posting videos, what's kind of been the best part of being a part of the YouTube community and posting content?
Well, Mario, you probably know this about being in, because YouTube is big. You could do makeup, you could do video games, and we're kind of in a niche genre when it comes to motorcycles. And you know as well, because your little boy races, racing motorcycles is very selfish, and it's very self-oriented. And now that I'm not racing professionally anymore, I felt like it was an opportunity, and maybe it's just that I'm getting older, but I felt like there's an opportunity for me to give back to the community. Like, I still consider myself a decent rider, so I've been making some tutorials on how to ride, and I just wanted to maybe be able to touch somebody else to become a better rider, potentially be better than I ever was, and just give them some maybe tips and secrets that they might have not thought of. And it's honestly blown me away at some of the private messages that I've gotten for fathers and sons and moms and daughters with going, hey, you've helped me so much. How can I get over this, the fear of jumping or whatever it is? And I couldn't imagine well, to me, that's really impactful. And in my racing career, I was so selfish because it was, you had a truck driver, you had a mechanic, you had a practice mechanic, everyone giving you goggles and blah, 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 blah. And it was tough you almost have to reinvent yourself. Mm-hmm. And it's been nice to try to give back.
I think the other thing is, some of these people may not have the same local community you have of riders, and may not have the opportunities to ask folks because they just don't have the, they're just not close enough, or they don't know the right people. So being able to put that stuff out there online, it's accessible by anyone, where before, you might have to work up the courage to walk over and ask someone, and you might not get the answer you want.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think what you're talking about, getting the private messages and the emails and stuff, that's part of that's probably one of my favorite things. And it's not always in the comment section. It's they're actually taking the time to send you an email. My channel's a little bit different because we cover a lot of touring and stuff. So it's really neat when someone says, hey, I watched your stuff, I worked up the courage, I took my first overnight trip, my first weekend trip, or I've started planning this. So it's pretty neat to know that you've impacted someone in a positive way. But with the positives come the negatives. So what's kind of, maybe, I can't really say there's been anything too bad to come out of YouTube, but at least for me, but what's been, if not the worst, like, an example or two of something negative that's come out of it?
Oh, gosh. There was a big issue recently here just in the local community. And I made a video about politics, and the YouTube community probably wasn't that harsh, but my local community here, they took it out of context. And there's something about sitting behind a keyboard. You can say whatever the heck you want, and people can be fairly shady and dirty. And I would say that's probably the hardest part is you're opening yourself up to, I wouldn't say discrimination, but you're opening yourself up to hate.
Yeah.
And people not agreeing with your topic or how you do something, and so they're going to tell you your 2 cents, but people don't realize that you're still a human on the other side of the computer. So, words hurt. They do. And I've had to learn to try to not take it so personal.
That's the big thing. We were talking off camera earlier when I first got here about the same type of thing. Like, we are just normal people, and we're putting ourselves out there to either help or entertain or whatever the case may be. So we do read the mean comments. We don't let them bother us as much anymore, but still sometimes.
When I'm crying in the bathroom, I try not to post that.
So, I guess the last question from me tonight, and thanks for having me out here.
No,
at the end of this, we're going to show, some clips, because while he says he may or may not be able to ride, the proof out there earlier. I mean, we saw some amazing stuff. So.
I'm pretty much a washed up rider at this point, but
he's still got some skills. So what's next? Whether that be on your YouTube channel for your riding. I mean, we're going to catch you at some GNCCs on the East Coast.
Oh,
if
God.
so, I'll give you a place to stay. What do you got planned?
I've done a couple of those GNCCs, and riding for 3 hours is as much as people think it's fun, it's not fun.
We can put you down in like the sportsman's class, the morning race.
Yeah, I'm maybe next year because I'll be 30.
Okay.
And
you can.
I can try to maybe
I won't quite
sandbag.
be in the senior class. I'll still be in the vet class. So that means I'm in C, so it'd be fine. It'd be fine.
But what's next for me is I've been starting to try to sponsor some pros, and I hope to grow that so that we can give some money to riders like myself that don't get the spotlight but are giving everything they can to try to make it a living. And I hope to grow that so that basically I just want to be more impactful to my community. And I hope my tutorials start catching on a little bit more, and we'll see what happens. But I've enjoyed making videos, and I'm probably going to continue to do it, I guess.
Sweet. So maybe a little less riding and racing, but still be seen around the paddock area and still be involved in the community.
I'm tired of getting hurt, and every time I throw my leg over a bike, it just seems like the older I get, the faster I was. So my brain still remembers that I can ride at an elite level, but then my body's like, no, you can't.
This guy's all scarred up, and he's hopping off his bike, and thumbs swelling up. But
it's all part of riding. So I might actually have to travel out to West Virginia and do some touring.
We'll talk off camera because I want to talk to you about that. So this might not be the last. Hopefully, it's not the last time you show up on the channel. I'd love to have you back on. So anyway, thanks for inviting me out here tonight.
Absolutely.
I hope you guys enjoyed this interview. Please go check out his channel. Do you want to plug your financial channel too? Because if you want to afford toys like this, you need to know how to save money.
It's Johnny Crypto, but it's about trading options and stocks and bonds and stuff that will probably put you to sleep.
But it might afford you a nice dirt bike, so you never know.
Yeah.
So anyway, man, I appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, consider hitting that subscribe button to my channel and also Johnny's channel, which we'll link at the very end. If you've got any questions for him, maybe you can tune into the comment section of this video
absolutely.
and come in and answer some live. And as always, we'll talk to you again soon.